going to do a check with the webcast and everyone else, AV, everybody, we're good? Just cue me when you're ready to start. Ooh, look at that. Everybody really quieted down. That was just a check, okay? You can, I want to make sure we're fine before we start up. Ready? Very good. Okay, I might ask for some assistance, Alan, with just closing the door. You know the usual drill. You can tell people it's time to start, but until you close the doors, they'll linger outside. Nothing brings them in faster than that, I'll tell you. Okay, so, hey, Cam. Oh, there it goes. Never mind. Very good. Good morning, everyone. All right, peppy crowd for what's it going to be today, heat factor like 105 or something here. Welcome to those of you from out of town who are not accustomed to this sort of weather. This is Washington. It is July. We sort of expect it by now, but I think it is going to be a little intense. I hope for your sake, if you're visiting, you're sticking around for the weekend because it's supposed to break by Friday. We'll have a nice 4th of July. So welcome, everyone. My name's Jeff Weiss. I'm Associate Administrator for Pipeline Safety at the U.S. Department of Transportation. My pleasure to welcome you to our second workshop on pipeline safety management systems. In just a minute, I'll run through some things, but I wanted to take 2 seconds up front to recognize that the committee, most of the committee who has built this consensus standard we're here to talk about today, most of them are here today, and I want to thank them. They put in a year and a half of hard work so far. We're not done. We have another half a year or so, and Ron will review sort of the path forward on that. But quite a commitment of time and energy on an individual basis, their companies, their associations, their agencies like ours. So my thanks to all of the sponsoring organizations as well. I also want to take 2 seconds to say the committee really had little choice in terms of the timing of this event. So I felt like an apology was due up front about why would you pick July 2nd for an event, for God's sakes. But the fact of the matter is, and Ron will show you, we're on kind of a deadline. We're in the middle of a comment period. We really wanted to try to get this information out to people as soon as we could to sort of enlighten them. So as they comment on the document, they have our reasoning. And I guess I'll say to you that I think every single member of the committee who is here would tell you that their views have changed over the past year and a half in some way or another. You know, you almost have to wrestle with this stuff a little while, try it on, you know, and just get before you're comfortable in it. And I know my friend Masood has worked me hard, and he's won in a lot of areas. But it took me, you know, time to get comfortable with some of these ideas. So that's why we're here. It's why we held a workshop earlier this year I'll go into in a second. But with that, Cam, oh, here we go. Cam teaches me I can't learn, though. So I wanted to make sure that we say that we made a point of getting the word out that we were webcasting this meeting, recognizing that it's not the best timing in the world to hold it. But I also want to tell you that the webcast people, we have getting, I'm hoping we're learning and we're getting better every time we do one of these events. We want to invite you in. There are opportunities for you to participate in the webcast. You don't have to fly. You don't have to spend a lot of money, be in a sweltering Washington, D.C. in the dead of summer. But you will have opportunities to participate. In the bottom down there, you can see where if you want to capture a link and send it to somebody, you can see where you can get it. It's on the PHMSA front page under, I think it's news and updates. And just as importantly, I wanted you to know you have an opportunity to submit questions. So we have someone who's actively monitoring this email address, pipelineforum@dot.gov. So feel free. I mean, that's the whole point of this. We will have an open committee members, kind of a surprise to them. I'll have all the committee members up here at the end, and we'll take questions from anyone until you're really done. The only other thing I wanted to say is that this is the second of 2 workshops on pipeline safety management that PHMSA has hosted. The first one I highly commend to you. I actually thought it was a great workshop. And I don't think every workshop we do is great. I just thought that one was. We had a lot of really good speakers in that session. And I can't tell you how many people came up to me later and said, you know, I'll paraphrase my friend Ron, who said that that's the best workshop you could ever get for free, you know, honestly. A lot of good ideas, a lot of things to think about. I'm not just pushing it because it was PHMSA. It's helpful as you get into thinking about pipeline safety management systems to explore some of the concepts that underlie why would you have an SMS to begin with. So I would encourage you to do that. It's on YouTube if you search, Darius will probably know, there's probably smarter ways of doing this, Darius, but I know if you search PHMSA and SMS, you'll come up with the February 27th workshop. As you will, the YouTube, we'll be posting all of the presentations today on YouTube as well. So there's probably better ways, and I'll talk to Darius at a break, and if there's a smarter way, I suspect, I will get it to you. There we go. So just a couple of things up front. I'm trying to get, and I'm going to jump one more slide and then come back to this one. First thing we want to do always is tell you about how to get out of the building should it ever be necessary, the fire exits. The yellow highlights here are where we will be during the day. I've got a little pointer here. Oops, that wasn't it. Is this the pointer? It is. This is the stairway you might have come up, and there are elevators right here. Wanted to tell you that fire exits are back over here or back down here, depending on where you need it. This is the lobby of the hotel, I guess, or right here is the lobby and getting out. We are in this area. Restrooms, I'm sorry. This is restroom area back here, and little known, not pointed out well, restroom areas over here. So just if you need to get out of here, I doubt it. We've been, you know, there's nothing we know of in terms of drills. I just wanted you to know out the door and to the left and down the stairs would probably be your best bet. If for some reason you couldn't go that way, out the door and to your right and back in this corner and you'll find it. So let me go back to this slide. I pointed out the restrooms and security. I don't think this is necessary, so I'll do the light version of this one. We've had some events where individuals who want to get a message out have been very disruptive and have come up and kind of disrupted the proceedings. I guess I should say up front, I'm very intolerant of that. There are plenty of opportunities for people to make a point of view, anything they want to say. So we will make those opportunities, and I invite you to take advantage of that opportunity. As I say, I'm very intolerant of people who become disruptive of meetings, and I'll use security if I have to. I hate to say that, but honestly, we've been through this before. So it's worth telling people up front so they know, right? I think we've cut that. I will myself, in just a second, move the cell phone to silent or vibrate. Would strongly encourage all of you, except for Linda, of course, who shut hers off most of last night, including the alarm clock that worked on there. The other thing is we have plenty of Wi-Fi codes for people who want to or need to jack in or want to save your batteries. There's a little sheet you can get out at registration. I could tell you the code now if you really want it. If you have a pencil, I'll tell you now. And otherwise, go to the registration desk. It's just 6 digits. The internet code is 863031. Read it one more time in case you want it. 863031. Might save a little bit of battery for you, but if you forget it or need it, you can go to the registration desk and get that. Also, there's I believe it's a reduced parking rate available to anybody if you use the parking out front. I myself use the parking garage across the street. So with that, there is a guide to lunch in the front here, and I'll say in a moment you're on your own for lunch. We'll show you how to get there. We've gone through this by now. Really clear purpose in being here today, and that's why the event is structured as it is. We want you to hear a little bit about the origin of our new recommended practice. We want to talk to you a little bit about what's in the content. Most of the panel sessions that you'll see today will be individuals who we've specifically asked to review the content of this RP. It's a little drier than what we did last time, but necessary if you're going to comment on this stuff intelligently. We'll be talking to you about the path forward to publication of the document, and then we've asked 4 company executives to come and ask them to take the effort of sort of trying this on. You know, how would this work for you? You know, what value do you see in the document? I'm really looking forward to that myself, and then we'll have an open Q&A session. The agenda, I'm just going to go through quickly. As soon as I'm done here, which will be in just a moment, I'm going to be introducing Chris Hart to you and Ron McLean. Chris Hart, as most of you know, I'll do most of that bio, is the acting chair now, and we're hoping and knocking that he'll be the permanent chair of the NTSB shortly. We'll meet until about 10:15 Eastern time. For those of you who are on the webcast, we'll take a break, and then we're going to get into the meat of this document. We'll go through all 10 elements, 2 at a time. We'll be doing a break around 11:50. These times are approximate. And then we will be having the try it on session around 1:30, 1:40, something like that. End up with a Q&A with all the committee members, and we'll get you out of here 4 to 4:30, something like that. I'm going to close on a couple of notes, and these are just more personal comments. You know, I specifically asked to be on the committee because I sort of love this stuff. Believe it or not, you know, it shows you how warped I can be. I really enjoy it, and I get to work with a lot of really interesting people in doing something that I think is important. I think SMS has a great future, and I think that the committee has done excellent work together. And Linda Doherty, my deputy, was plugged in all the way along and gone to meetings that I couldn't attend, but we have been, as PHMSA, we have been seriously plugged into this because we think it offers long-term value to the public and to the industry alike. So it is based in a couple of premises, you know, and I think that you're going to hear a lot of words today, but you'll hear a lot about learning, about continuous improvement. You'll hear a lot about culture, you know, very important. And I think we've come to realize that safety management systems are crucial to long-term success and attaining the goals that most of the operators and the industry and public have demanded, which was 0 incidents, but that they won't work effectively without a strong culture. They can help companies build culture, but alone an SMS probably won't succeed. So I think we're a little novel in the SMS arena in that we have built safety culture and cultural elements into much of the document, thanks to the perseverance of several members of the committee who worked us really hard. So it is a framework for continuous improvement. I think we're going to hear more from Chris on that one. As I mentioned earlier, we've been at this for about 1.5 years so far now with monthly meetings and a lot of sub-team meetings on little projects. So it has been quite an active committee. I'll let Ron speak a little bit to that. But I think by this point in our development, you know, there was the storming phase where I think the discussions were sort of, the amplitude was pretty high. You know, but it's really settled down now. You know, I think really across all of the representatives, I think we're getting pretty broad alignment. So with no further ado, I want to take time to introduce Chris Hart, as I've known Chris for quite a few years myself. I'm really pleased that he took our invite to come here for a lot of reasons, but Chris and I, not on my slides here, you know, I've always been interested in people who are good thinkers, you know, and Chris and I managed to hook up with a number of other people, Bill Hoyle and some other folks who are here in the room, and formed this ad hoc interagency group. They were on the Highly Reliable Organizations work group. It's been great, you know, when we pull people together, just, it's, as I call it, it's like dipping you in the river. You know, there's good thinkers, great ideas. You dip yourself in that river every once in a while and refresh yourself. So I really got to know Chris more in that. His official role is as the acting chairman of the NTSB. Chris comes with a background in engineering and law, as we know from our boss, Cynthia Quarterman. That's an interesting combination. You really can't buffalo him either way. So. But both, as you'll see on the screen, he has his bachelor's and master's in aeronautical engineering from Princeton, his law degree from Harvard, has been with NTSB twice. First term in 1990 to 93, went off and did work with NHTSA and FAA, came back in 2009 as working on his 3rd term as vice chairman and was nominated on June 26th of this year by the president to be permanent chair of the NTSB. So with that, I hope you'll join me in welcoming Krista. Thank you.